Good Monday morning, everybody. This is DeEtte Renee here on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB Talk Radio. This is a radio show where I explore different people's lives, their journeys, and how spirit has impacted them. Now, I do talk with people of different spiritual modalities, and others that have just really found that spirit has touched their lives. Now, each week I do have a small discussion on something that Spirit gives me to talk about, and then I go on to my guest. Now, my guest this week, oh, I am so excited. Oh my God, I can't, so excited, is Lisa Sampson. I am just over the moon top to have her back on, and I am saying back on because remember, I had her on last year. To talk about her life, her journey. At that time, she had just written a book. It was just accepted by Llewellyn Book Publishing Company, but she's back on today. And you know why? Because today is her launch day. Today is the day that Llewellyn releases that book. It is launched, and we are doing it today on this show. I am so excited about this. I can't even tell you. I mean, I'm just over the moon excited about this because to me, she is just a huge inspiration. She's a woman that I went and did my certification with through Lisa Williams. We were in San Antonio together. We just clicked. I mean, oh, I loved her. You know, I'll tell you, we got stories of look at San Antonio, not a whole lot of green going on, you know, water, not a whole lot of green. And we were in this hotel, you know, in this conference room, and we are just like, God, we need a ground. And we looked out, we just seen this little patch of green across the street in somebody else's corporation. And on breaks, we would run down there, jump in this corporation's little yard, no shoes. And they probably looked out the windows like, oh my God, what are those crazy ladies doing? But you know what? She's an awesome soul, an awesome spirit. And we are going to talk about her book, Twin Flames, today. It is just unbelievable. So I'm super excited that, you know what, not only is this Lisa's day or Lisa's part of this, and they know, and they're just like, hey, go talk about this. I am super excited. So in a little bit, we're going to bring her in. Okay. Now, remember, there's so many ways to find me this morning. Okay. So many ways. Some of those, wow, I love how the light is coming in on me. I love the light in this room. My new office is awesome, but I have these amazing windows over here and the light come in weird. I'm going to have to work with that. Anyway, different ways to get a hold of me or see me this morning or any of our shows, guys. One, go directly to the website, and that's www.WLTK-DB. That is easiest way, and it's a way to let us know who is watching. There is a live watch. You can watch the live stream in there. You can go in and comment, chat, whatever you need to do, ask your questions, and it's a great place to do that. We are also on Facebook. Oh my God, Facebook. Again, you've all seen Facebook Lives. We're just streaming through StreamYard on doing it. So, you know, feel free to come through that way. We're also on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube watching the show, we have a lot of YouTube subscribers. You can chat, comment through there also. Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. We are there. We are everywhere. Please come on. Your comments, your concerns, your questions, whatever, come on in. I'm so excited to hear from all of you. And I'll tell you what, you guys are mind-blowing. The mind-blowing in the sport that you've given us, and not just myself in this show, but also the station. So it's amazing, and I'm super excited. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about what Spirit wanted me to talk about. Okay. And I'll tell you what, this is a biggie. This is a biggie. There is so many energies going on around these days. So many. And I don't even think you have to be a light worker to understand them, to feel them, to know what's going on, to feel the shifts, everything, everything. And it can be very, very uncomfortable. It can be very uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you, there's an easy way to ride this out. There's a much easier way to ride this out. And I really have been coming to that self-discovery a lot lately. I will tell you, it has been more and more, but no more than it was yesterday. And I'm just going to tell you a tidbit of what happened in my life. I went to a friend from the past, just a wonderful name. I'm just going to say her name is Debbie right now, only because I don't have her permission to give her last name yet. I will tell you though, her site I won't say her name, but I'll tell you her site, okay? So give me a sec. I'm always Googling, aren't I? I'm always looking, Googling, whatever it might be. But I want to go there so you can go, oh, there you go. I'm not going to say her name because you can figure out her name by this. But if you go to her site on Facebook, it's Dream Living Wellness. Dream Living Wellness. Okay. Her name is Deborah, Debbie. Deb, you know, she's freaking phenomenal, freaking phenomenal. She's a blast from a past for mine. She is also she came back into my life a year ago, took one of my classes, just phenomenal, and now she's a hypnotherapist. And oh my God, she's also a nurse, and just the list goes on and on. But yesterday I went to her and had a hypnotherapy session. Okay, I am so for hypnotherapy. Um, and I've had a few of them over the years. I've had a few of them, but it really wasn't until maybe this last year that they really started working to where I would just release, let go, and let it happen. I always kind of got in the way. I blocked it. It wasn't something I really wanted, whatever it might be. And a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, with a different guest I had, Adam Dintz, he offered a free session. And right up until literally almost the moment I was all ready, and then I got terrified and I backed out. I backed out. And I didn't understand at that point why. I literally, I think at that point I put it out on I wasn't the type of client he wanted, blah, 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 because he was writing a book. And I thought, that was it. That was it. And I was gonna be part of that book, part of my hypnotherapy would have been part of that, and I had a lot of excuses, and then I had a lot of regrets, tons of regrets why I didn't do it. So I've really spent a lot of time since then, and I've been working on myself and digging deep just like everybody has, but this energy that we have been in for the last few months has been mind-blowing. And it's really made me dig deeper than I ever have, I think that I've ever had before, or at least consciously have. It's been making me break down and asking the questions why and looking into things of that nature. And then me and Deb sat down to have a discussion yesterday prior to my hypnotherapy session because she wants to know why you want this, why you're seeking that, all the wonderful clinical questions, which I applauded for that. And it was funny because just a few minutes prior to, arriving at her office, or her home, which is because she has a home-based office, I was really thinking, what was this about? I'm like, I didn't want weight loss because I'm already on this huge weight loss journey. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I've been trying, and that's okay if you can't because it's all for me anyway. Um, and I'd already quit smoking 7 years ago, and I had a hypnotherapy session not that long ago that really worked on releasing some fears that I had, which I know worked because I'll tell you what, I have this fear of snakes that's really unrational. It's very unrational. I mean, it's be rational if I lived in Texas or North Carolina or South Carolina, not necessarily rational in Janesville, Wisconsin, because we don't have a lot of rattlers here. But I wouldn't even go into long grass with my bare hands. Things wouldn't scare me. And I have found since that session with Terry, and I'm going to say Terry Flick because he's the one that did it. Um, and not a problem. I'm hands in first. Let's get through that grass, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh my God, fears are gone. This is rock star awesome. So I really thought about this. It does, Andrea. Andrea Dwight says weight loss sucks at this age. Oh my God, Andrea, it does. But that's okay because we're rocking and we're doing it. Um, but I'll tell you what, I know it works. So I really thought, okay, that was cool. I kind of left that one up to spirit because I didn't tell Terry what I did or didn't want because I was just like, let's get it done. So yesterday I really thought about this on the way and I thought, God, what is it that I want to work on? Do I just want to do past lives? Because I've always wanted to do past lives. Do I want this? Do I want that? Why am I even saying yes? And then I thought, why did I say no to Adam? Why? What is that block? What is that is there that is stopping me? And I thought about it. And, it was really weird because it was so quick. It was so quick because you know what? That is spirit saying you are ready and you are ready to conquer this. You are ready to dig deep and you are ready to conquer this. And it just, in the blink of an eye, was before me. And it was like, "You have a lot of irrational fears of being seen, being seen." Oh, depressing at times. I love to know who I am in past life, and it's awesome, Andrea. I will tell you what, and you tell me what area you're blah, 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 excuse me, you're in. I will lead you to a phenomenal therapist, because now I know at least three. But I will tell you what, it told me, to look at irrational fears of being seen, and that's crazy, isn't it? Being seen. And people don't realize because I do have this website. I am all over Facebook. I am traveling all over the country doing galleries. I am on this radio show, but it has taken me a ton of effort to do this. I am terrified every time, almost like stage fright, terrified. Oh my God, what are they going to think about me? What are they going to look at me for? What are they going to do this? Terrified of, don't even know. Then I'm going to say, go see Deb. And she says she's in Janesville. So I'm going to break for a second. Andrea, I want you to go see Deb at what I said before. Make sure you write it down. Todd, if you can write this in the comments, I'd be so happy about it if you did, just so that Andrea and anybody in the Janesville, Rock County, Dane County area can see. If you can just put up, if possible, dream living wellness, because I'm able to comment on this side, but dream living wellness, and her name is Deb. Anyway, going back to it. So, it's been quite a journey for me to do this. And so we went in there and, thank you so much. So literally being able to do that, we went in there and I told her I had these wonderful fears. And I'd like to find out where they came from. And I told her I really felt like it came before this life because I can't remember a time in my life where I wasn't out there in some aspect. Wasn't out there in some aspect. People tell me I stick out like I stick out in a crowd. And it's not that I try, they just tell me I do. So it's not something I try to do, it's just something that happens. But always being afraid of being seen, and what people will think, say, do, whatever it might be. And it's always been there my whole life. So it was really interesting, and it was just phenomenal to be able to go into this hypnosis session. And I'll tell you what, it was like none other. I can't believe how deep I went. I can't believe how at ease I was. I can't believe how relaxed I was and trusting. And my body just went, whatever, let's do this. And went into this session. And it was just 1, 2, 3, out. But I'll tell you what, now it's 24 hours. I think I remember everything of my past lives that she took me into. Because she did. She took me into my first past life. And I'm not going to say, much about it. The first couple of the past lives, other than the first was the first conception of my life, the first life I ever had here that at least my conscious was remembering. And it was amazing. I felt comfortable. I felt at peace. I felt strong. I was who I was. I had no fear of me. I was a healer. In that lifetime, I would say, I'm not going to say witchy woohoo, but very magical. Very much believed in the elements. You name it, it was there. But I was very trusting of who I was, and the society or the population that was around was very trusting of it. Very comfortable in it, and it was amazing. It was just like, oh, I wanted to be back there. She took me into the next lifetime, and again, another lifetime. It must have been around the 1200s, 1300s, somewhere in there. And I was in the woods, I was picking barks and berries and different herbs and leaves and flowers, and I was taking them back to my little house and completely at ease of making medicines per se, medicines for population of people, and people would come to me out into this wooded area and totally okay with being a healer and helping. And whatever it was, people sought me for that, and I wasn't hiding, it was just my happy place. This is where I felt amazing. And then she took me into the next lifetime, and it was 1792, and I was living in a life of shame. I was living in a life of hiding. I knew who I was. Even in that lifetime, again, a lot of witchy woo-hoo, a lot of healing, a lot of what others would consider magic. Excuse me, teaching my children, the whole 10 yards, proud of who I was, but hiding who I was. And it was out of a fear of being shunned, a fear of what people would think, a fear of what friends would do. I kept myself very secluded. I didn't let lost internet. There I am. Sorry if I lost internet connection for a second, but it brought a huge fear of hiding who I am. And I really do believe I've had that fear since, literally since that time period of, because I was found out in that time period. I was able to see a person that was literally covered in blood, and I went and laid hands on them and threw some medicines on them and was able to help clot the blood and get the blood to stop bleeding, or the blood to stop bleeding, the person to stop bleeding. And in that lifetime, I kept saying, "It's no big deal." And they kept saying, "Thank you, thank you." I'm like, "It's no big deal. Forget about it. Just let it go." And I was trying to scurry away because I was terrified of what was going to happen. And literally in that lifetime, my worst fears came true. And I was shunned and laughed at and things thrown at my house. And, my husband had already been passed away, and I had my children and trying to protect my children. And I literally ran from where I lived in that community, and I ran to what we would be considered a different country now, um, and just terrified. And I do believe I brought those irrational fears in my lifetime. And I'll tell you what, after the session, learning to go within, learning to know where those fears come from gives me that opportunity to go, okay, okay. I don't have to be shunned in this. I mean, they might shun me, but I don't really care. They might laugh at me for my beliefs. It's whatever. You know what I mean? And I have to understand that, and I have to know that, and I have to accept it. And I have to know that I am who I am and be proud to shine my light. And I think a lot of people are going through that right now. I think a ton of people are going through that. I really do think the energies, especially with this last Mercury retrograde, it was all about digging deep and getting rid of irrationalizations and looking within and just pushing past. And I think some of those energies are still here with us. And I think we're still pushing. I think we're still growing and we're still digging deep and we're still trying to find where we're going. And it's just so amazing when we do that, isn't it? It's amazing. It's amazing to be on this journey of self discovery, isn't it? And I love the fact that we live in a time, and I'm not going to say so much a community because we all don't live in a community that really maybe um, supports all that. Okay. But we do live in a time of which we can find a lot of like minded people within our communities, on internet, social media sites, wherever it might be, where we can find that love and that support and be able to push on. And it's amazing that we can do that. It's amazing that we can do that because we don't have to feel trapped. We don't have to. And I think as a society, we are growing. I think we are expanding. I think we are, even general populace that maybe didn't feel the energies before are starting to feel those energies now. And I think even on their own right or their own way of being, they are growing in their own. People are learning to push past what they thought before. Just like with myself, I am signing up for classes again. I am signing up to do things to be seen, going, "Oh my god, this is really gonna make me seen." You know, all of these amazing things that are happening before I was terrified of. And now I'm looking at them like, "Hey, let's go do this." I might still be scared. You know, it's natural to be scared. It's natural to be fearful. Excuse me, because it's an unknown. It's an unknown. Who's not? I mean, we can be totally thrilled of the unknown, but at the same time have an underlying fear of, oh God, no. And I'll tell you what, that is part of this. But being able to push through those, being able to push through and go forward and be able to just go, you know what? These are doors that spirit is opening. These are doors on my path that say, hey, it's time. This is your time. This is your time to push through and to be all that you can be. God, that sounds like the American dream, doesn't it? It does. But isn't that what the American dream is? Being all you can be, all of that you think you can be, all that you want to be. And I think in this time and age, it is our time to do that. So I know for myself, that is one thing I'm working on. And it'd be interesting to see if that is what you guys are working on also. What are you doing to push past? What are you doing to say, hey, this is my time to shine. This is my time to just go, go, go. You know? Um, Excuse me, I gotta take a drink. Oh, I need to show these off. I need to show these off, guys. I need to show these off. I love my cups. I love my cups. They are my psychic medium logo cup. It's my logo. A student and wonderful friend Ellen did these for me, and I love, love, love them. I can't even tell you. Um, you can tell I've used it nonstop. I'm gonna find a way to seal them. Um, and I'm a huge water person, so perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, Anyway, and they gave me great inspiration. Inspiration to be out there and see what else. Thank you. I love them too, Andrea. I love them. I'll tell you what, she made them in coffee versions too. I'm telling you, I love these things. I might have to find a site that does this and make my own merchandise. Everybody's gonna have to tell me if you'd want this stuff. I'd put it on my website if you want it. You know what I mean? I would do it. I would so do it because I love my logo. Oh my god, I think the hypnotherapy is working already. I'm like, "Hey, look at my cup. Look at my cup. If you want them, let me know. I will find a company that will make them." Um, because I love them. I love, love, love. Look at she also did it on black and white on the coffee cup. Fantastic. Um, anyway, going on. What are you doing to push past your fears? What are you doing? You know? What are you ooh, wow. My stomach just did a twinge, did a huge twinge. Well, what are you doing to push past your fears? What are you doing to say, you know what? It's okay for me to be seen for who I am. Excuse me. It's okay for me to um, do all I do for me. It's okay for you to shine your light. Thank you, Leslie. What are you doing? What are you doing for you? You know, because that's really kind of a hard thing, a hard lesson. Um, Teespring. Oh, thank you. I think I gotta look into Teespring to see for merchandise. Okay. I'm gonna check into that, guys. And you know what? I'm gonna have some merchandise designed and put on a website. How's that sound? And that way, if y'all want to buy some, you can, because I love my logo. I love my logo. I left that into the hands of a beautiful design artist, and they created it. So I love it. Um, and but what are you doing for you? What are you doing for you? Okay. Um, what are you doing for you to let yourself out of that bag, let yourself out of whatever kind of confinement you might have yourself in? What are you doing? I know for me, I know for me, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going or what I'm doing because it's really got to be a secret. But I'm going someplace this weekend in some part of the country to do something I've never done before, to be on a TV show. Can you believe it? I know this has been coming up. I was asked to do this a few months ago, and I can tell you I've been terrified to say, yeah, I did it. I booked my airplane, my flare, my rental car, my everything, but was terrified to do this. Now I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. I'll go buy some jeans that fit because I've lost a few pounds. Put on my best, boots because I love my boots. Let's go rock this. Let's go see what's going to happen. Let's do whatever. I will tell you, it's also about doing paranormal, and it's another thing I've been terrified to do. Even though I've done a few, I've been terrified. But I'm like, let's go do it. Let's go find out. I'm a medium. I mean, I don't want them to jump out and say boo, but let's go do it anyway. Let's go see what the universe has to offer for me. Let's go see the opportunities the universe has for me. And let's go. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's just go do this. And I think it's pretty exciting. I think it's amazing. Okay. So this week, I want you to think about something that holds you back, something that you have fear with, something that you would normally want to do, but maybe have a hard time doing. And I want you to think of different ways to do it. And if you can bring yourself to doing it, go for it. Okay? And then I want to hear about it. So I want you to message me all about it. Okay? Because that's what I'm going to do this week. And let's see how far we can grow together. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm going to take a quick break. Okay. And when I come back, we'll have Miss Leslie Sampson with me. Yes, I'm so excited. I'll see you in a few minutes. This is DeEtte Renee with School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB.
Looking to launch your new masterpiece? Then try something new with Moonbow Publishing and Publications. At Moonbow, we have a strong desire to serve authors in a powerful and meaningful way. After all, you've poured your heart and soul into your writing, and we fully understand and respect that. Remember this: you will own the copyright to your work. You will have the final say on your work before published. Even after all of that, we've saved the best for last. We won't take a percentage sold. Nope, not a penny. Excited about MoonbowPublications.com yet? We thought so. Take advantage of our company's services like book editing, formatting, and covers, publishing, and photography. Moonbow Publishing and Publications has everything you're looking for in a company. Remember, we will not keep any commissions. We are a boutique publishing company focusing on spiritual, health and wellness, and personal growth genres. So come and see what we can do for you at MoonbowPublications.com. That's MoonbowPublications.com. Moonbow Publications, a new kind of publishing company.
Hey, welcome back to DeEtte Renee here on School Through Spirit with WLTK-DB. I blocked a lot of the sunlight. Anyway, let's bring in Miss Leslie Sampson. Hello. Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
I'm so excited to
Can
see
you hear
you.
me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear anything.
Everybody, Leslie's having a few technical.
Yeah, I can
can't.
only see your face. I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Oh, I just got audio. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome.
Hi.
I am so excited to have you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me back. I appreciate it so much.
I am so happy for you. I was telling people about you, like, oh my God, this is your book launch day. I love this.
It's my book launch day, and nothing but technical difficulties, but we're going through it. We're working through it, so we're
That's
good.
okay. That's what we have to do, right? We just have to push. We have to push, and make it like, hey, we're going to make this happen.
Yes, definitely.
You know?
I wanted to tell you right off the bat, straight off, that I loved what you were speaking about earlier about going outside, stepping outside the box, stepping into your fear and going through it. Because, welcome to my biggest fear right here. I have everything I've been working on for the last 20 years in this book, and now everybody has the chance to read it. So I completely understand what you were talking about, and I just wanted to say bravo.
Oh, thank you. Because it's not going into your fears isn't easy, is it? It's just, it's a terrifying thing, and I don't think people realize really. It's one thing to have a fear, because we all have fears. Everybody's got a fear of something. You know what I mean? But to understand that fear is one thing, but to really push past that and go, I am just going to do it anyway. That
Amen.
is more terrifying than the fear itself.
It is. It totally is. Like, because you get so used to having, everything encapsulated in your own little world where everything's safe and nobody can make fun of you. And then all of a sudden that happy little capsule opens and the world comes pouring in and you're just kind of like, what did I do? Your first instinct is to retract and to go back and to rebuild the wall and be like, no.
Right.
But then it's once you step out of it and you allow yourself to have that fear, allow yourself to push through it, give yourself permission, because once you do that, gosh, the doors just open so wide.
Yeah.
Because now you've set your intention. You're working with, your purpose. And I just think it's amazing and it's beautiful. But it took me a while to get there.
It does.
So
I think it does for everybody. For me, I have to go get hypnotized. I might have been able to do it without the hypnotherapy. You know what I mean? But sometimes you have to go. Where does it come from? Where does it come from?
I feel you. I recently had a past life regression session with someone else, and which I hadn't done in a while. So I was very excited to have it done. And I went into it like, yay. And I came out of it. I was like, oh God, what did I just do? Because I didn't need all of that information right now. But apparently I did, but I didn't need it right now, so
right.
I got you. I feel you. It's always about broadening and expanding and learning more. So,
it's fine. It's awesome, but it also gives you a good inclination of why your brain works the way it does. I know, like I'm like I said before, I'm not going to talk about the first, first life that I was able to see, which she believes was my very first life, because she literally said, let's go to your very first one as, a human, whatever. And bring that forward. And in that lifetime, I seen things as a big picture. I didn't see the small things. I didn't see the small pictures. I seen everything as a big picture. You know what I mean? Everything was like on this grander scheme. So I went, oh, that's why I'm that way this lifetime. Because I just look at things like, really? I've always said because I'm an Aquarius, but I guess it's not.
No, the Aquarius just helps it along a little bit,
Right, and you know about astrology, right? A little bit or no?
I know enough. I know enough to be dangerous.
There you go.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Audio.
You're fine. It's okay.
Killing me today.
Everybody, we're gonna work through this.
Yeah, it's been one of those mornings, so I appreciate you working with me.
We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. I can hear myself.
I know, strange, and I put my earbuds in so that that would not, and that's the first thing that happens. So we have no more earbuds. Sorry about that.
We'll make it, like I said, we'll make it work. We'll make it work. What was I saying now? I can't remember what I was saying. Apparently it wasn't important. So
Everything is important. We'll come back. Don't worry.
it's always going to come back. So what is this book about? I want to spend as much time as I can on this book. So what's it about?
Well, basically, it is actually about finding your twin flame. In this book, we define what that is, the history of it, where the concept originated that brought it into the consciousness. And then there are about 15 or so different processes in this book that assist you in actually locating and determining whether or not you've actually found your twin flame. So we use, let's see, numerology. We use astrology, genealogy. We use various methods of divination. And we even delve into the Akashic Records.
Oh.
So, yes. So in this book, it's designed to be a tool to help you. I've discovered through my research that so many people are on a journey to find their twin flame. And what they don't realize is that you are already connected.
Okay.
It's just a matter of bringing it into your consciousness. So this book, that's kind of the underlying intention, the underlying goal is to bring it into the consciousness so that that connection can actually come to fruition.
Okay.
No matter if we're on the other side. So that's what it's about.
I love it. What would you say something like for myself? Because and I know now after yesterday this is a pattern. I am like totally okay with being by myself. I'm totally okay with not having that person next to me. You know what I mean? I would almost even go to the point of going, don't know if there really is somebody for me. You know what I mean? Like maybe this lifetime I'm just supposed to be AKA alone. You know what I mean? And I am totally okay with this. You know, it's like sex is not big. I don't need to snuggle. Not that all that wouldn't be nice. Don't get me wrong. But literally, I'm okay with myself. So what do you say to somebody that really is kind of like me that says, would I even have a flame? That sounds weird.
I would say 100%. The answer is yes. Everybody has a twin flame.
Okay.
The common misperception or misconception about twin flames is that they're your one love. That's actually not the purpose of twin flames.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. If you actually develop a loving relationship with your other half, fantastic. There's nothing wrong with that. But the purpose is soul evolution. So if you've reached a point where you are comfortable enough with yourself, like I'm with you, I'm the same way. I'm comfortable with myself. I don't have to have another person with me. It would be nice, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you know, the person I want, I don't know if is there, you know,
Right.
maybe. But in connecting with your twin flame, you're actually working together on a soul level.
Okay.
It's not all about love. So, do you have a twin flame? 100%, absolutely.
Okay.
Do you want to work with your twin? Sometimes it just happens because you are connected to one another at soul inception. So sometimes the work between you just happens and you're not consciously aware of it. And then other times you want to bring that into your consciousness so that you can understand where that connection is, how that connection is, what your purpose and point is in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like working, I guess, with a mirror version of yourself. Although you're not opposites, you're actually equal.
Oh, okay. I like that. So I'm going to ask some questions that, you know what, I don't know if they're idiotic questions or they're more human questions than soul questions. Does that make sense?
No worries.
Because I understand the soul, and I know not everybody does. So let's bring into gender, because everybody, I know, like, people will stop and think, like, because I am more attracted to men, would my twin flame naturally be a man, or what would it be? Does that make sense?
It makes sense. The general belief is that it's the opposite sex. However, I do not share that belief. Because you're equal at a soul level, gender really doesn't come into play. And I actually go into this a little bit more in detail in the book, but because when the soul is generated and split apart, it contains the exact same spiritual DNA. So both halves have both divine feminine and divine masculine in it, which is where in the twin flame universe, you'll hear a lot of people talk about divine feminine and divine masculine. But my contention and my belief is that the soul contains both. So you can incarnate in whatever sex you choose to, or not even identify as a sex.
Right.
And you still have a twin flame because you have a soul that is equal to yourself. Now, in human terms, if you're more attracted to men, great. Could your twin flame actually incarnate as a man? Yes, that is possible. They could also incarnate as your best friend.
Oh, there you go.
So I think everybody putting that pigeonhole into it can only be male and female, it excludes so many people. And in fact, kind of early on, in my research early on, I actually did that myself. I was kind of like, oh, well, it's got to be divine masculine and divine, it's got to be male. And then I was just like, wait a minute.
The soul doesn't.
The soul doesn't know what gender you are.
It doesn't care.
And even if you don't gender identify, still, I think it's important to not be exclusive when the whole entire concept of twin flames is so inclusive because it's about divine consciousness.
Right.
So that's my answer to that question. Do you have to have, the opposite sex? No, you don't.
Okay. I like that answer because I know that's one people bring up, and that's what you always, well, I can't say you always, but I've always seen as people have always said it had to be either this or this, So let's kind of touch back a little bit from where we've started, because I kind of went at this like everybody knows what a twin flame is. And so let's kind of go back a few questions here and tell people, because you've been like touching on it a little bit. What is a twin flame? What is it?
Okay. When a soul is created, and I'm going to say when God creates a soul, but God is, of course, your understanding of a higher consciousness, or however you define that. But when God creates a soul, he creates it. He creates it and then splits it in half.
Okay.
These two halves are called twin flames because they have the same spiritual DNA and the same soul blueprint within each half of the soul. But these two souls are also complete. I don't want to give the impression that it's like you cut an apple in half. That's not it. They're actually two complete souls because when he cuts them in half, it's just, it's just to create more souls. But these souls are equal.
Is God just being lazy?
But these souls are equal in every way. And then they are also connected by a sort of, I usually call it like an umbilical cord that is made up of their unique soul pattern. So no one else can actually create it or destroy it or recreate it. It is what it is. And that's one of the ways that you can actually discern who your twin flame is. So, but that's what it is. It's two equal halves of the same soul. Each soul has the same soul DNA and the same soul blueprint. So yeah, that's what it is.
I like that. I like that because that is one thing. Because obviously I've not done nearly the research you have. I've only kind of got little snippets here and there that you see on social media or whatever, And people always, most people I say, oh my God, I met my twin flame. We're together. It's just the perfect love. It's the perfect this. It's the perfect that. But you're going, really? I mean, that sounds boring.
The funny thing is I agree with you. I've read all of that stuff too. I belong to so many different groups online about twin flames, and it's constant. It's either I found them and I love them and they left me, or I'm looking for them. And everything is, blissful or terrible. There's no happy in the middle in between. And I was thinking, like, wait a minute. um, the twin flame relationship is a roller coaster ride. It is not perfect. It is life changing. It is earth shattering because you're literally encountering your equal on a soul level. So, is it going to be perfect all the time? No. Oh my gosh, no. Is it going to be, stressful all the time? It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a beautiful experience, but it's a for real roller coaster. Sometimes it feels like you're throwing, gas on a flame, and other times it's like that flame is barely burning, but it's still there.
Right.
That's what I mean by roller coaster. It just keeps going like that. So that's why, in reading all of these things, my twin flame and I are together, and we're so blissfully happy. I'm happy for you. I really am. But then that makes me think in the back of my mind, are they really twin flames? Because how long did they work to go through all of the stages and the steps that exist? I'm naturally curious. I want to know. And I did outreach and ask folks, and be like, hey, so would you mind sharing with me? Because I'd love to hear it. Because my own experience was a little different than most of the things that you read online. So I was naturally curious.
Well, yeah, because I think when I see somebody that is a lot like me, I tend to not like them because they've also got all those bad traits I don't like about myself that I have to work on. So I'm thinking if I found somebody that's my identical, I'd be like, oh, who's going to get the rifle first? You know what I mean? Because you're going to be just as irritated as I am.
Exactly.
Can we sit down and communicate, or are we going to go hide into the bedroom and just say we're not talking?
Yeah. Well, I mean, meeting your equal that's on a soul level. When you guys, if you're incarnate both on Earth, yes, you're going to have so many commonalities that, you're going to want to smack the crap out of them. You really are. And that's what the roller coaster is about. Okay. Because through every craziness, there's also a plateau where things are wonderful. And then again, it'll ramp up. And these are all about lessons and evolving the soul. Because once the soul is evolved, it never stops.
Right.
But once it is evolved from its previous point, where you've learned lessons and you're like, wow, man, dude, I tried this, but let me just tell you, you could try it, and you start sharing the lessons and the information that you've learned. That's part of the whole twin flame gig. That's part of being a light worker as well, because you're sharing and hoping to enlighten the consciousness and raise it. Right. So when I say that the point of twin flames is soul evolution, that's correct. It's my soul and the soul of everyone else. Because eventually, you know how it works. It's like a domino. One person will say something and another person will go, oh, wow, that's great. Right. And then it'll come up with another person. Oh, wow, that's great. So eventually it has that domino effect. So that's why, for example, we did this. I did not write this by myself. My twin flame is on the other side. He helped me. But together, we did this together is to show what we have learned and how we have grown, and hopefully to help others. So that's the whole. I mean, if people want to have the love thing with their twin flame, I applaud them. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful. But I just want people to understand that's not the whole point.
And that's just it. Yeah. So let's touch on that. You're like you just said, and I don't know if that slipped by a lot of people's ears. Your twin side. Your twin flame is on the other side. So how did you come to that realization and then learn to work with them or talk with them or I mean, I get it. I understand it. Well, I at least understand the talking to them part, but the whole rest of it. Yeah.
It's kind of a long story, but in short, I was at a period of my life where I was very low, and I had prayed and asked for I asked for my life to be over, basically. And not that I wanted to commit suicide. I would not do that. But I wanted the existence that I was living to be over with. I was done with it. It wasn't working for me.
Right.
And so shortly thereafter, my intuition really started to come back out again. And I encountered a soul that when he was in life, I knew of him, but I didn't know anything about him, like really. And he started to come visit me, which initially was like, what the heck?
Yeah, I'd be like, huh?
Sorry, that dog in the background. I can't.
Good. He has his say on this too. He's saying, he's like, I love him. You got to meet him. I've talked to him lots.
But no, so, and then in connecting with my higher guidance, my angelic guidance and things like that, that's how I learned that this soul I had met initially was my twin flame. And I said to my guides and angels, I said, what is that? And what does it mean to me? And then once they explained it to me, I was like, okay, prove it.
I'd have been the same way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few little other words in there that I'm not going to repeat, but basically that's what it was. Okay, really prove it, because I'm a skeptic by nature. I can't help it. I'm a Virgo. Right. So I want you to show me these things and to prove to me that, okay. Right. And so every class I took, every conversation I had with, people, something would come out.
Right.
I call my twin Chico, that's his nickname. And I've had people actually mention his name in conversation and they have no idea who they're talking about. So I'm like, oh God, Spirit's talking through you. Dang it. So, but yeah, I mean, it was an awakening for me on so many levels. And so that's how that really happened. He kind of answered my prayer. God sent my other half to help me out. So, but yeah, that's short version of the story.
I think that's like my perfect other half. You know what I mean? So I can still go shopping when I want and go on vacation when I want and wear what I want. Be stubborn like I want. But hey.
For me, like in the morning, it's like, okay, so we're going to wear this and here's your schedule, like I'm just like, dude, really? But I have to say that if I hadn't been a medium, which, I think is amazing within itself, but if I hadn't been a medium, it would have been a lot harder to communicate.
Right. Now, how has this book and the work you've done affected the rest of your life then? Let's go there. You're like, we're just supposed to talk about twin flames today. Well, it's part of it. I'm going in depth of Leslie because I want everybody to go, this is a woman I love and I need to read her books. I want to say books because I hear books, like there's more books. Thank you. Oh, I must be psychic. But how is this really writing this book, putting yourself out there? How has this changed life?
Well, honestly, it's almost like another awakening, because when I first encountered my twin flame and I started on my spiritual path, it was a pretty big awakening. Right. I mean, my entire life was inside out, topsy-turvy, upside down. I couldn't turn around twice and know where I was. It was insane. And so putting this book together and learning that, I had all of this information and how to organize it and how to help, use that information to help others was another awakening. It was like, wow, because I never thought about it in this way. Like, for example, talking about, just for an example, Chico and I have basically the same astrological chart.
Oh, wow.
And is that for every twin flame? No, it's not. But ours is that unique that it's almost exactly the same. And so naturally, I'm sitting there going, I have all this information. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Because once I found out his birthday and all that stuff, I was like, wow, this is fun. Let's type this in and see what our charts look like. Oh, wow.
Right.
I had all this information for like years before I realized, wait a minute. Let me go back and look at this again. So it was like a whole other experience of going, wow. That's how I know with 100% certainty that no matter what, twin flames will always incarnate in a way where they're clearly visible to one another. So it doesn't matter if it's, numbers or astrological chart or birthdays or anything like that. There will be something about each one that is discoverable by the other, or that makes complete and total sense. Common numbers, common signs, common signals that you never would think about these things just in normal everyday passing,
Right.
But then when you put all the puzzle pieces together, as we talk about in here, and you put all the puzzle pieces together and you sit there and go, wow. So that's kind of what it was like for me. I had all of this information, and once I figured out how to put it all together and delve into a deeper
Hold on,
crazy.
Andrea's got to leave. She says she's going to look for your book. I believe you can go to Amazon, Llewellyn, everywhere, Walmart. Go get it. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but I want Andrea to know before she left. But go on. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. I think I was done.
I love it. Well, the whole time we were talking, I'm thinking, okay, you're talking about astrological chart, this and that. Now, it's funny because I talked about this a little bit last week on the show, and because for some reason I don't do astrology. I'm way too much. I started to think about it back in the day. I'm an Aquarius. Let's just call it a day. I'm born at the cusp, and I really am born at the cusp. But like in between Capricorn and Aquarius, if there's a time that's right there, it's me. So I thought, got to hear it my butt. Said, let's look further in this. So I found some site and did this, and they gave me my moon rising, which happened to be Scorpio. And then it had to give me a little bit more and then say, I was born on the very end of a waning moon. So when I'm like, what's that mean? And it basically says I see big pictures. I don't know how to shut up, and I feel like I know everything. I'm like, makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. But if my twin flame has that, we're in trouble, because I can't imagine the discussions of we're both thinking we both know it all.
Yeah, I know. The really interesting thing about astrology, specifically twin flame astrology, is that a lot of people will dive into the deep end of the pool with it.
Mm-hmm.
They really want to know, like, their cusps and the moons and they want to know all of that, which is great. I have it all. Right. Can I tell you exactly down to the point, exactly 100% what it means?
Mm-mm. I think where I'm at, I'm good at for a while.
I can tell you about what it means. I can give you the generalities. I don't consider myself an astrologer by any means. But then I realized something really easy. When it comes to twin flames, I said it before, I'll probably say it again before we're done, DeEtte. It doesn't take much to recognize them. Right. So just by having commonalities and similarities on your chart, does that mean that your twin flame has to be an Aquarian? It just has to, your twin flame will incarnate as a compatible sign.
There you go.
Okay. It just so happens that, if I got to be honest, Chico is actually on the Leo Virgo cusp, if I got to be honest. But he has more, from my understanding and learning about him, he has more of the Virgo tendencies than anything. So, but we're still both Virgos.
Right.
And
that's got to be dangerous in itself. My mother's a Virgo, so very strong Virgo.
And it's funny because just another example, our birthdays are 2 weeks apart. My original due date was actually his birthday.
Oh wow.
So you find out these little things during research, and it took me a long time. It wasn't just bam poof I got this information. I had to literally I mean, I was also learning and doing mediumship at the time and learning how to communicate with spirit in a proper way and doing all this stuff. And so it was all kind of happening at the same time. So I just had random bits of information and finally they made sense. But no,
Right.
Yeah, your twin flame is going to incarnate as someone who's complementary to you in every way.
I love that. So, you just said that because we know Chico's on the other side.
Mhm.
Okay. So how, you got so much information. How were you able to research? I know this might sound idiotic, but how are you going to research somebody that's dead? You know what I mean? Or maybe it has not incarnated during this lifetime of your existence. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying.
Because there's not a lot of history. Say your twin flame was literally last time incarnated was 200 years ago. I mean, it's like, how are you going to find that?
And the answer is both simple and complex, but it's the Akashic Records.
Okay.
The Akashic Records holds all of the information of the history of a soul. So if I went back all the way to the origin of my soul and asked the records, excuse me, Akashic Records, who's my twin flame? They're going to show me the connection.
Okay.
And I can ask, I can't open his Akashic Records, of course, because he's on the other side, but I can ask subsequent questions. Okay, well, in his most recent lifetime, when was that?
Okay.
What was his name? Was he a male or a female, or did he identify? So these are questions that you can actually ask to find out. Now, I got a little lucky because I knew a couple of folks who knew Chico in life. That's how I knew of him. I just didn't know anything about him as a person because we had never encountered each other, to my knowledge, that I can remember, on Earth. So, which is hysterical because I know we've been in the same place at the same time a couple of times, but never talked to him. And he, so I got lucky in the sense that I did know a couple of mutual friends. But for the most part, that's how I found out. I opened the Akashic Records once I learned how to do that.
I was going to say, because that's my next question, right?
I'll answer that one too when you ask. But once I learned how to work within the records and just ask those questions, the information just flowed. It flowed. And so I was able to learn. And then obviously once I got on board with a little bit better with my mediumship, I could just ask him directly. So that was a bonus. But the Akashic Records were an invaluable source for me.
Beautiful. So how on your own were you able to do that?
Well, I took a couple of classes through my local spiritualist church. We had a beautiful lady named Christina come from Chicago to Boston when I lived in Boston, and did some Akashic Records classes for us. I was attuned through her, and that was she taught through the Linda Howe method of the Akashic Records. So it's basically a prayer process. And I've kind of made my own now. But in the beginning, I worked with that and that's how I would open the records. And it's basically for myself. I tell people, it's your energy within the Akashic Records. Mm-hmm. Set your intention. Set your intention that, hey, I'm going to open the records. And honestly, that's how I learned how to do it better.
Okay.
Setting my intention and saying, okay, look, here's my list of questions. I'm going to give myself 5 minutes to ask as many questions as I can and get as much answer as I can. And then I'm going to step out and close the record. And each time I increased it, for maybe now it's 7 minutes, 10 minutes, because it is a high vibration and just stepping into it could be a little bit of kind of like an energetic shock. Right. But since you're asking to step into your energy and view yourself through the eyes of the Akashic folks. There's a governing thought.
There you go. I love that. So I think you have asked many of the questions I could. So I want to. I know there's more. There's always going to be more, but I wanted to talk about some of, because obviously you had a lot of people read parts of the book. I was one of them, or read the book, and I loved it. But I wanted to bring up you know what some other people, the reviews were, what they wrote about. And you know them because you posted them.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
God, making me talk about myself. I can't do that.
You're doing great. You're doing great. That's why I ask questions, because it makes it so much easier. And I can understand that, because when you sent me it and you said, will you do this? And I went, yeah, but I can almost feel your hesitation of like, this is a piece of me. Will you judge me? Will you, you know what I mean? It's no longer something I'm proud of as much as it is like, oh God, I'm putting myself out there to my peers.
Exactly it. That's exactly how I felt. I ain't gonna lie. You picked up on it. Yeah.
I could feel it going, oh Leslie, it's gonna be amazing. And I want this for other people to understand it too, you know, because each one of us, I think, had a little bit of a different take on the book, you know. Like Diane wrote, Leslie's description and examples of the twin flame connections cleared up the mystery surrounding who your twin flame is and why they are part of your life experience. Her step-by-step instructions on connecting with the twin flame and determining that person truly is your twin, very comprehensive. It is obvious that Leslie has a thorough research and information she presented in her book. Her descriptions of numerology, astrology, and all things metaphysical were concise and easy to follow. I would highly recommend the book to anyone interested in the finding of the twin flame and basic understanding of the metaphysical. I love what Diane wrote. You know, I really do, but there in itself adds some questions like, you know, how did you go about the research? How did you, you know, it's kind of like, it's almost like talking about the Lady of Lake and saying, hey, she's real. You know what I mean? How do you research something that's make-believe? That maybe not be make-believe, that is real. Does that make sense? So how do you do that? How do you research that? How do you make that truth?
Well, it's kind of like mediumship. Most people don't believe that we can communicate with those on the other side until you show it, until you prove it. So how I did research was basically I was blessed to have a group around me of people who were curious or were already walking a path with their twin flame. And I was able to kind of tap into their relationship and find out more, you know, obviously I asked them, you know, and just to find out more, like, hey, how did you guys meet? Hey, with, you know, what is it like? I was blessed because I grew up in a house with twin flames and didn't know it until I started putting the puzzle pieces together of their relationship. So, it was basically proving it.
Mm-hmm.
I set the parameters and I said, okay, if the twin flame relationship is this, then I need this, this, and this to prove it. And that's where we talk about all the theories and all the methods of proving, because people can, you know, people will always say when it comes to twin flames, you just know. Right. Well, if you're someone like me, no. You got to have. So that's literally what it's like. It's like doing mediumship, but for twin flames. We have to take all of the evidence, ask all the questions, go step by step by step. You know, when you do mediumship, first question is, what's your name? How old are you? How did you die? You know, how did you go through all of these questions that you ask spirit? So that's basically, I do anyway. I don't know if
I don't get names, so I don't ask him. So I'm never going to know my twin flame's name. He's going to be like, hey, it's me. And this is how I died.
But, you know, so it is the same. It's really the same about trying to get as much evidence out there, asking the question, going and looking and seeing how it makes sense together. But that's really how we prove it, just to do it, just to prove it. Because I went through my team, for example, when I said to them, prove it, how did they do that? By having every single class, every circle, every conversation I had something to do, even if it's a tiny little nugget about Chico.
Right.
So that was important in the research. Once I realized that, I could go back and go, oh, I I see the methodology now. Let's do it the same way.
Right.
We're going to prove it. And really, you don't have to prove it to others. You just have to prove it to yourself.
Right. Now, how would you feel this book you wrote became basically the textbook of twin flames?
Oh, I would be blessed. I would
Well, it's
definitely
kind
be
of like,
blessed.
if you think about it, there's a lot of books on mediumship. There's a lot of books on it. But if you go back to some of them, they're basically the textbook of doing research on something that didn't exist. Does that make sense? The populace didn't think existed.
Exactly. That is so true. I mean, I didn't write the book with that intention, but if that actually came to fruition, I think I would cry. I think I would be so blessed and humbled. I think I would probably cry, because I know that there's so many folks out there that are for lack of a better word, desperate to locate their other half. And for whatever reason, doesn't matter what the reason is, but and I just want to help them so badly. I want to help them understand that we're already connected.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Let me see. I want to read another one. I clipped them all, but I want to read another one. From Rebecca, and it's Rebecca Stardust. I love that name. For all of you who are searching for your twin flame and trying to determine if you even have one, like that's my question, Leslie gives you all the information, tools, and meditations to get you started. She describes the difference between a soulmate and the twin flame and tells you how to make the determination. If you're wondering if you have met your twin flame, using numerology, zodiac, astrology, birth charts, and other methods are as outlined in Leslie's easy-to-understand book, you'll have your answers in no time. Now, that's another big question in that one. I like that. I'm like getting all comfortable, like I'm going to get a pillow. Like, we're going to have an all-night discussion now. So what is the difference between a soulmate and a twin flame, and how do you tell the difference?
Well, we've talked about what a twin flame is. A twin flame is literally equal of your soul. The other half of it has the same soul blueprint and the same spiritual DNA. There's only one. A soulmate is someone who's compatible. It's someone who exists in your souliverse that evolves around you at all times. And it's someone that can help you on your path, or conversely, that come into your path so that you can help them. So, to be short, a twin flame comes in and completely turns your life upside down. A soulmate kind of helps you sort your way through the trees to the clearing, so you can actually find your way. That's really the difference. And you can have millions and millions of soulmates.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes the soulmate is like, someone you smile at during the morning after you've had your coffee. And that's the last time you see them.
Right.
But you end your day by smiling at them.
Yeah, because I know I've had soulmates where it's like, and they don't seem to understand it, where I'll go, I know we're soulmates. I know without a doubt. And now I don't have anything to do with them. They're like, but I thought we were soulmates. Yeah, but it doesn't mean we have to hang on to each other forever. I don't have to be with you every day. Sometimes you go years. Sometimes you never see them again. But when I look back on what they added to my life, it's amazing. It's mind-blowing,
Yep. And that is actually how they help you. They add so much to your life. I mean, it's kind of like the twin flame is the tornado or the hurricane that comes through. And maybe a soulmate is FEMA. Who knows? That's kind of the relationship, sort of. Bad analogy, but that's kind of how it goes.
I like that analogy. I love it.
Well, the soulmate's going to come eventually. You just don't know when, and it could take years, but it's there.
It's there. Now, Antoinette. I'm working on my names, Antoinette, and I'm so excited when I say them correctly. I'm like, yes, got it. Marie says, if you're searching for answers as to why your connection to someone feels altogether different and has turned your life upside down, this is a book to read. It's impressively simple way of explaining the twin flame connection will bring peace of your mind to your mind and soul. Leslie Sampson not only tackles the stages of the connection, she guides you through the different techniques to determine who this person is to you and if they are your twin flame or one of your many soulmates. Now, with that being said, she is talking about the different stages. So, can you touch on that a bit?
Yes.
I am nitpicking this like you wouldn't believe, aren't I?
It's okay. I love it. It's great.
I want
love
people to know why to read this book, like, oh my God.
Well, there are several things that exist within the twin flame relationship. And one of those is they're called stages. There are different stages, just like there are different stages of grief, for example, there are different stages of the twin flame relationship.
Mhm.
And some people will say there are 7, some people will say there are 11. I happen to believe there are 8. And we talk about them in the book, but each stage helps you progress onto your learning your life lessons, coming together, getting over the craziness and the humps. I compare it to actually riding on a roller coaster because and getting sick on a roller coaster, because that's what happens. It's such an up and down relationship that once you understand, like, okay, wait a minute, in this stage I feel like I'm going to vomit on the roller coaster. Okay, yeah, okay, we're normal. Okay, we're good, let's do this. So once you understand what stage applies to your current reality, for example, then it makes it easier to see your way through. And I also give you a little bit of guidance on how to make it through each stage, because it's important. Now, I will talk about the last stage a little bit. It's called union.
Okay.
In the twin flame universe, union is the goal. And they believe that it means that you're just united with your twin flame.
Okay.
Myself, I will never say that actually happens, because in my brain, being completely and totally united with my twin flame as I am means that we have learned as much as we're going to learn, and we've evolved as much as we're going to evolve, and we're done. End of roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't ever happen.
I was going to say, if that happens, your existence stops, wouldn't it? Because we're all about soul growth. Or you become an elder guide and call it a day.
Right, exactly. Which I'm looking forward to eventually one day in some millennia. Anyways, and so people think that is the ultimate goal, that you're just united and you guys are connected. You're connected via, chakra alignment. You're connected via soul alignment. You're connected through this, that, and the other thing. And it completely misses the point. So I always say that Chico and I will never be in full union because we refuse to stop evolving, because the whole point is soul evolution. So, but yes, I consider 8. Can I name them off the top? No, because brain, but I know that there are 8.
I love that. It's brain. So simple. Brain.
Brain sucks, man. Okay, so I gotta tell you.
I love that. I love how you explain that though too, because I think that gives a lot of people a lot of information. Okay, and something to look forward to as to why to do this. So Isabella Rose wrote, through the techniques shared in this book, I was able to confirm my own truth, or my own twin flame relationship with my late fiance. I highly recommend find your twin flame, understand a connection to your soul's other half, to anyone interested in learning about twin flames, beginners and those who are seasoned in the spiritual development field alike. Now, I like that because your book helped her understand it. And it's funny because your book for me, because I always thought one of my relationships was a twin flame, and it made me realize, oh, hell no, you were just a mate. And thank God because if you were my other, oh my God, you know what I mean? So for me, it showed the opposite. And I love that. So what do you say to people like that? I mean, that do come to you and say, oh my God, you like blew my mind away and made so much clarity on so many things.
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, what I said to Bella about her comment was, it humbled me because I do know a little bit about her background and her history, and the fact that her twin flames passing was equally as tragic as mine. And it was just such a beautiful realization for me. And that's actually what I told her. I said, I'm glad you had this beautiful realization, because it's almost kind of like everyone around her had this understanding, but she didn't. And it kind of opened her eyes to that. And for myself, when people say to me, wow, that makes so much sense, or have a similar comment, I'm in gratitude. I'm not surprised, because I did this in tandem with spirit, and I mean, not just my own twin flame, but with my spiritual team. So I know that they were, they ensured that things would be written or included in the way that would help people the best, and that was my intention during the process. So I always just kind of smile and in gratitude and say thank you, because it's validation for me that my team is all over it. So and that spirit works all the way through this book. So what better thing can you get than that? I mean, just to have that validation. And I'm a sucker for validation, so I love it.
And I think that is a big thing, because it is validation for maybe not so much you yourself, but it's a validation for the work and for spirit and everything else, which is huge.
Yeah.
So what books or no, go ahead.
Well, no, usually when you get a validation, even as a medium, when you get that validation that something makes sense to someone, it has nothing to do with you personally. It's all about spirit.
Yes.
You're just the vessel. So I consider this the same way. So I guess is a better way to answer that question.
Right. And I love that. I love how you bring that up, because outside of like a website or something like that, I don't ever ask for testimonial. I just, and this is point blank why. It's because I know you've had this too, where people come up going, oh my God, you've seen this and this, and thank you so much, because you were 100% you're accurate. And you're like, and now I always feel bad, but I'm always like, who are you? I mean, I'm sorry. I don't, because people don't necessarily understand that when we open up to spirit, when we open up to mediumship or the energy, it's not us. I mean, I always tell people, God gave me this mouth, and he went, oh my God, we screwed up. She doesn't know how to shut it up. So what are we going to do with it now that we created it? I mean, he said, let her talk to dead people, because you know what? It's falling on deaf ears.
Yeah. So well, it's a curve there. I honestly tell my folks, I'll say, like towards the end of the session, I'll say, look, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can absolutely 100% contact me, and I'll try to rebuild our connection. And I said, but I'm not going to remember a single solitary thing that went on here. No. And I explained to them why. And I find that works a lot better, because when they do come back, and they will, for whatever reason, and I'm always happy, to help them, but when they do come back, they'll be like, okay, so last time you said, I know you're not going to remember it, but last time you said, and I'll be like, spirit said that, and they remember it. I don't. Yeah.
My mouth opened up, came out, been doing it since birth. I mean, I've been going, blah, 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 since birth, maybe not always making sense. So what books are coming? What's more? Can you talk about them?
About who? I didn't hear.
Books. More books. Can you talk about them? Talk about them.
Well, I know I'm in the process of writing one strictly about the Akashic Records.
Ooh, I can't wait to read that.
Funny thing is I started off my writing career as a fiction writer, and I have a story in my brain that's going to come out eventually, but it's actually a fiction story. So, and I do know that down the road, there'll probably be a little bit more of an advanced twin flame book. Because I didn't get to everything, if you can believe it. There's more. So I do know that will eventually, I believe, come down the pike. So
I can't wait for those, because you know what? I have a feeling when people get this book, because today, guys, you can go get this book. It's there. You can go to Llewellyn and go, give me the book. This lady's no joke. And I'm not dissing anybody because self-advertisement and self-publishing is freaking phenomenal. Thank God we can do this. But this is a book Leslie wrote. She submitted it to a book, publishing company, rather large one. And they said, give me the book. Give me the book. Like, give me the book. Big puffy cheeks. Give me the book. And they are doing everything. Oh my God, I got flies. What are the symbols of flies? I'm thinking they're little annoying fairies.
Yeah, I think they are.
God bless the fairies. But you know what? You can go to Llewellyn Book and order this book. You can go to Walmart, order this book. You can go to Amazon. I can't imagine all the places you can go find this book. But today is the day they're going to say, you can have it. It's no more pre-ordered. You can have it. We're going to ship it today. And trust me, this is a process because we talked about this book last year. This was accepted last year. This has been a process. You're like, I wrote it. What more you got to do? Just put in some ink to paper.
There's a whole process after that I didn't know. So, no, I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's actually available on pretty much every major market online, every major site. So, yeah. And if you're, in some cases, you might actually get to go to Walmart and buy it.
I'm telling you what. Someday I have a hope and a dream that someday I will bridge all my fears and write my book, and I can go into like Barnes and Noble, and there it is. I really want it on that front table, like when you walk in, not the clearance table, the one that says like bestseller or hey, come get this. It's not on the table. We're trying to get rid of this crap. It's the table.
No,
I have to be specific about this manifestation, or it'll be my luck. It'll come out and it'll be clearance straight away. I don't want that. So
no,
I gotta be specific.
Well, those are the ones you can find at like the bargain places, like at like Dollar Tree and stuff like that.
Yeah. So. I don't want that book. I want mine to be, So I would leave this to you, but I'm so excited. I'm going to do this. These are places because I don't know if everybody knows this. We are starting her launch right now. We're starting to let people know, not that Leslie has not been doing amazing Snapchat filter, everything. Unknown caller. See, everybody's trying to get it already. Spam is calling for your book.
Oh, awesome.
We are launching her book right now, but other places you can go, like we are doing the live stream right now as a start, just to say, hey, here we go, let's do this. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you what, in California, they have barely woke up. It is 2 hours ago. It is barely woke up, and they know now if they can click the button, they can go to Walmart because it's open. Okay, right after this, on 11/13, no, they're on 13. That's just a few days. That's like this weekend, guys. She is doing a book signing at the Stardust Spirit Shop from 1 to 3. Is that next to Dollywood? I don't know which country that's.
No, it's in Dollywood. I would love signing a Dollywood Dolly.
Dolly, if you're listening, if anybody knows Dolly, trust me, this woman is there every other weekend. She'll bring her books. Just put a table out. She'll be good.
I might get lucky and Dolly will write a song about my book. That would be super awesome.
Oh, not only, she's got the book giveaway book to the kids. This one will just be to the high schoolers. You never know. Dolly, if you're listening, we got this for you.
I know it's
trying. Because the Beatles are just not really with me anymore, so we got to go with Dolly. Anybody knows Leslie? She's huge Beatles and huge Dolly. So, and that's Dolly Parton. So, if anybody had questions.
Just to interject, because this is going to sound crazy, but how awesome is it that I love Paul McCartney, and he had a book released last week, and I have a book released this week.
Oh my God, that's like kismet. That's like now Paul McCartney. Okay, we'll add him in. He can stand next to the table next to you at Dollywood. Awesome. So the Stardust Spiritual Shop, where's that at?
It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I love that. Chattanooga, Tennessee. I think there's a song about that.
Yeah, Pardon me, boys, that Chattanooga choo-choo.
See, she could be a singer too. I love it.
That's all.
That's all she's got. And on November 20th, which is the weekend after, it's another event and signing at the Phoenix and Dragon Bookstore from 4 to 5:30. So is that in Chattanooga also, or is that someplace else?
That's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Ooh, you're getting around, girl. You are getting around. I love this. You know what? And I do like, because this is actually, you can go to Leslie's Facebook site and see this. Go to Leslie Sampson, obviously.com, Llewellyn Books. Anywhere else they can find you or your book? I mean,
socials, all on Instagram, on Twitter, as much as I hate Twitter. Obviously Facebook.
I don't understand Twitter. I'm not twatting anybody. I'm not Twitter. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand it. My brain does not. I don't get Twittering, and
I don't either. But I'm on there.
I'm
also on TikTok,
but I don't get it. Huh?
I'm also on TikTok, but I don't understand it either.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I got friends that do it. Oh my God, look, I'm getting like a little blotchy, round blotchy parts on me.
It's because we're having such a good time. That's what it is. We're having a
blast. I'm having a blast. And I'll tell you what, I am so thankful you came on today. Thankful that you blessed me to be part of this day for you, because I'll tell you what, I'm so excited. I'm so happy for you. Oh, you don't even know. You don't even know. And if this book hits Barnes & Noble, I'm going to be the first one to grab it, because I want to say I got this book from what, yeah.
It's there.
Let's go.
At least on BarnesandNoble.com. I don't know about the bookstore yet, but I know it's on the .com, so you can get it there.
I love it. See, everybody? There you go. There's not a place you cannot find Leslie's book. So thank you so much, Leslie. I am so adore you. You don't even know. I love you so much. You were like my soulmate from another mother in this lifetime, in green grasses, no matter how small they are.
Yes, exactly. I concur 100%.
Well, thank you. And everybody, I will be back in a few minutes here after our break. This is DeEtte Renee on School Through Spirit, WLTK-DB.
Meet Nicole Strickland. One of the leading San Diego paranormal researchers, Nicole offers a gentle and humble approach to working with spirit energies. Being the founder of the San Diego Paranormal Research Society, Nicole is no stranger to the unknown. Due to Nicole's vast knowledge of the paranormal, she is widely sought after for speaking engagements on topics like Children of the Paranormal, Paranormal Investigation 101 and 102, History of Spiritualism, and more. Not only does Nicole research the afterlife, but also writes about it, and is the author of several books pertaining to the paranormal and its history. Nicole has appeared on television shows like My Ghost Story, Travel Channel's Famously Afraid, Good Morning San Diego, and more. Have a conference or event coming up? Contact Nicole on her website, authornicolestrickland.com. That's authornicolestrickland.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB. I have had the most joyous time speaking with Leslie Sampson this morning, talking about her book, Twin Flame. Just wow. I love Leslie. If you can't see and experience, just read her book. I'll tell you what, it's just awesome. She's awesome. I love her. We're going to go to our readings, our weekly reading this week. So as always, I'm using the Intuitive Soul and Oracle cards by Lisa Williams. Again, you're going to be hard pressed to get these cards, but I love these cards. This is not an advertisement of it. It's just a deck of cards that I love to use. So, and I'm here and pulled 5 cards today. Okay. So, and I am going to do a backup clarification card. Um, from I bought this deck for my granddaughter. She's 4. She loves them already, but I haven't looked at them. It is Unicorns by Baberi. Paulo Baberi. Barbary, I think. We're working on those names, like I said. And I haven't even looked at them. I know my granddaughter has, she's 4. She had a fun time looking through them all. As anybody knows that we have been teaching her how to do oracle cards, slowly but surely working on matching, looking the details of the pictures and going from there. But we're picking 5 cards today with the 1 card clarifier. So how this works is you're going to pick a number 1 through 5. You can pick 1. You can pick 2 numbers. You can pick 3, 4, 5, all the numbers. It's really your reading, and that card really is going to kind of bring through information what you need to work on for this week, okay, or how this week's going to go. So let's shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Oh my God, we got one that fell out, so we're going to take that one and put it as card number 1. I normally don't read cards that just fall, but I think that's got to. I'm going to go cut what I have, and we're going to bring up the first card. Communication, guys. Communication. Can you see it? Talking, taking action, listening, and opinionated. I love this one because not only in this picture do you depict a man and a woman sitting down someplace like in a park or lawn and talking, but you also see a ton of orbs. And the orbs to me mean spirit or energy, basically spirit all around them. But it's a lot of communication. So it's communicating between the two, earthbound or earth plane people, and also communication with spirit. So to myself this week, I would say that you're really learning how communication with spirit or communication of all forms, not just spirit. I always like to think it is spirit, but it is learning how to talk, how to listen, how to ask those questions, how to absorb the information you're receiving, and being able to literally give that information back in a way that makes sense to you. So, to me, if you pick number 1, you're really working on communication. Okay. Card number 2 is the relationship card. It's a growth, the understanding, compromise, love, relationship with self and others. Okay. Relationship card. You can take this many different ways, but every time I look at this, and even though the relationship says a lot about growth, with other people also, I look at this a lot of times as relationship with yourself. Okay. That's yourself, your inner self, your soul, all of that works with that. And I think this week we're really working on a lot of soul growth and a lot of understanding your soul, what your soul needs, what it needs to kind of evolve, kind of go on from here. Okay. And I'm thinking right now, this is a period of time where, it's time to start working with that relationship with self. Number 3, the butterfly card. It is change, transformation, growth, beauty, spread your wings and fly, fly, fly. Number 3, I love this card, guys. I love, love, love this card. This card to me just depicts everything about transformation, about going on. You have done so much work, and it's okay to walk out of that period of I don't have to sit where I used to be. It's time for me to transform. It's time for me to spread my wings. It's time for me to take in all the information you've had, all the information that you have brought into yourself, and really just kind of, push yourself and become what you truly are. You've taken that growth. Now let yourself act upon it and become more of who you've always wanted to be. Okay. So that really is, it's time for you to soar. So come out of your cocoon. It's done. It's time. Just let yourself go. Okay. Oh, boy. It's the playground card, everybody. This is youth, playfulness, inner child fun, and laughter. Again, you are going in and you are going to let the inner child come out. Okay. It's so funny because I just said this the other day. We are really in a day and an age when, when you were a kid and you wanted to be a fireman so bad. Oh my God. All you want to do is grow up and be a fireman. And when you grew up, you decided to work on cars. And there's nothing wrong with working on cars, but really your heart every time you see a fire truck go by, it just soars. This is about letting your inner child come out and be playful and have fun and that imagination of a child, that fun of a child. Maybe it's time for you to look into what those things are that you really want to do, why you want to do it, and really act upon that. And I'm not saying jump up, change careers, but what I am saying is start looking at life as through the eyes of a child, that purity of heart, and allow yourself to embrace it and have fun with it. The last card. Woohoo! Woot Don't we wish? Don't we wish? Summer card. Heat, embarkment, and vacation. Vacation. I look at this card, and you know what? I do love the summer card because, and this is the reason, is because during the summertime, when you look, I'm from Wisconsin. So summer doesn't necessarily just mean heat. I mean, we have heat, don't get me wrong. But you know what? When I look at summer, I'm looking at this is a period of time that you are looking at what you have planted and you're watering it and you're watching it grow and you're watching the leaves come up. It's kind of like looking at a cornstalk coming up because when it comes up, it's just so itty bitty. And as it raises towards the sun and it gets longer and taller, these great big leaves come out and they just fold over and they're just beautiful. And it gets this gorgeous bud on top. And as it continues to grow, you see the corn cobs literally start to sprout and grow. And that's what I think about summer. So if you picked card number 5, I really am looking at the fact that you are in a huge growth portion of your life. Whatever you're working on, you're at this portion where it's growing. Okay, it's growing, it's developing it. This is your time to water. This is your time to add the sunlight. This is your time to sit back and go, you know what? I've done the hard work. I've dug through the dirt. I've gone inwards. I have planted what I want, and this is my time just to sit back, water, and let the sunshine do what it needs to do, and allow this to grow up. Okay, and watch it prosper. Okay, watch it prosper, and that is huge right there, guys. That is huge, and that's what I think. If you pick number 5, it's about. Although I love the vacation part, it is kind of like that part. I mean, because it's not necessarily a vacation because you can't walk away from your crop. But you know what? You're in between the plant, digging up the ground and planting, and in between the harvest where the hard work begins again. So for me, it's kind of a vacation anyway. It's time to, do that part. So let's pull our clarification card. And as I said, we're using the unicorn deck. I grabbed this literally because it says unicorns. My granddaughter's all about unicorns. She's just, everybody should have a horn on their head, type of thing. So let's pull our clarification card and see where we sit with that. Just love new cards. We are looking at not a cloud, fluidity. You like that fluidity? And I love this because it is, look at this card. These are awesome. Oh my God, these are awesome. I love, 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 love this. And I love it because if you're looking at numerology, this is 29 put together. That's 11. Guess what, guys? Look up 11 in angel card numbers. But if you're looking at this card, it's gorgeous because you're seeing the unicorn that's actually made into the clouds, which is just the image of it. And the gentleman or the little guy, whatever he is riding a clownfish, which is flippin' awesome. But I like the fluidity. Because it's showing that the unicorn is not a cloud, that it's actually a unicorn, and the fluidity of it. So literally, when you're looking at everything in life, everything should really just be flowing. Now, I know we look at life as, oh my God, sometimes it's just a struggle. Sometimes it's too hard. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, am I ever going to get through this? And we do look at life that way. It's not easy to look at life any other way but that. But what I will tell you is, you know what, when you look back on things, you really see how fluid things were, how things just kind of were like, hey, you know what, it was supposed to happen that way. This is how it was supposed to jive. This is how it was supposed to work. And that's exactly what that card is meaning. So when you're looking at how you are going to, how you're going to look at some of the stuff throughout life, especially if you're picking these cards, you can look at it and go, you know what? This doesn't have to be that hard. I can just let this flow, let the energy of it flow, um, and just enjoy life. Just enjoy life. Okay. Because that's what all this is a process. It's about a soul's experience. Let your soul enjoy it. Let your soul just kind of continue on. So let everything you're doing with whatever card you got this week just be something that naturally flows. Okay. I hope that all makes sense and understanding on that. I hope. I'm putting all these cards away before I lose them because a little girl can get very upset if I lost her cards. And I'm going to put them over here where they belong. Now, in a little bit, I did take a picture of that card and I will put it in on the comments, questions, and concerns that you do have that for the week. I always love trying to do it while we're on the show. I don't always have success with that, but I sure do try because I want you to have it. I want you to have this and be able to use it through, kind of a resource to look back on the week, just to be able to say, hey, you know what? I got a little something to look at. I am going to bring that back up. Oh, I never am good at this. I'm always trying, but you know what? Might have to do it after the show. So, with that being said, I am going to bring up our shows for the week. Our shows for the week. This is going to take a little bit just because I haven't gotten a new list on what the shows are, but you know what? I kind of have a idea. Um, so we do start with myself today, which is School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB. I am here every Monday morning. Well, not everyone, a lot of Monday mornings, most night Monday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. I am on until about 11-ish. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we have Christina Bloom with Be the Change, and she's on at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. She's on for an hour. Tomorrow evening, though, we get busy. Tuesdays are busy. We have Newbridge Radio with Kevin Mackey. He is on at 7 Central Standard Time. Haunted Voices is right after that with Todd Bates. He is on at 8 Central Standard Time. And beyond him is at 10 is Paranormal Repeat with Pete Orbea. Now, I do believe it is, I'm going to have to look this up. I apologize. We're going to go back to it because I need to look it up. On to Over the Target. Thank you. On to Wednesdays evenings, we have Over the Target, and that is with Missy Hart and Nicole Ford. Another amazing show. They look at conspiracies and just everything. Amazing show. Really, just amazing interactive show. Thursday nights, we have got Afterlife Chronicles, and that's with Nicole Strickland. She's on 8 Central Standard Times on Thursdays. And Fridays, we have Secrets Within with Rennie Rodriguez, and that's at 8 Central Standard Time. Excuse me. And with always, and I'm going to tell you this, it's amazing because we do have our show live. It is awesome. You know what? You can listen to me, hear me, whatever right now. And it's awesome because, like I said, we have all the different platforms. We have the website itself. We have Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I don't know if we're on Instagram, but I'm sure we're going to try if we can. So many different platforms. But when this is over with, it goes into an archive. And the archive is awesome. Now, you can do one of two things. You can either go to WLTK or you can just look up School Through Spirit. Now, oh my God, let me see if I can remember all the lists because the list is huge. It is Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Podbeam, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music. It's there, guys. I mean, ones that I don't think it's on, check to see if it's your local, your go-to spot. See if it's there. Let me know if there's more. But that podcast there is there forever. You can also go, if it's just School Through Spirit you want to see, go to my website, www.DeEtteRenee.com. There is a listing of my show, my archive. Thank you, Todd. On there every week. As soon as the show's done, my producer, Todd, goes, boom, he throws us everywhere we have a podcast on. And he also puts at least my show on my website so that everybody has that resource to go look at. Okay. If you're seeing this in a podcast, do me a favor. Shoot us a message that you like it. Because I'll tell you what, we're going to do more of it if you do. And as always, if you have a voice and you have something to say and you want a platform, please reach out to my producer Todd on the website, which is the WLTK-DB.com. Let him know you would like to have your own show. Trust me, you know, my journey, my station in life right now with the station itself is to help grow the station. Let's build it. Let's. I have a saying that says we're going to keep him in his underoos all day long, so he doesn't have a chance to do anything other than work on the TV show. Because I really do think it's that amazing, that awesome. So if you want your own show, it's reasonably priced. Get a hold of them, send them a message. Also, the same thing with advertisement. Okay, you've seen some of the beautiful advertisements we do have. There's different ones that go on throughout the week. So if it's something that you want, if you want to advertise, please reach out to Todd. He will do all the work for you. All he's going to say, hey, send me this. What do you want to advertise? Send me the information you want in it. He's the one that puts it all together. He's a rock star at this stuff. And again, it's inexpensive. It's beautiful. That advertisement, yes, it is live as the show is live. But get this, it doesn't go away. You are paying for the live advertisement. That's what you're paying for. But everybody that listens to podcasts, sees podcasts, guess what they're going to get? Your advertisement. So you're paying for the live, but it's going to stay forever. So I'll tell you what, you're not going to get that with any TV show, any newspaper, anything. So unless you wait 20 years and, grandma packed her dishes with the newspapers. So either way, that is it. Please reach out. We're here for you. We really are. Now, next week, let's open up the book. Go all the way to November because I can't believe we're in November. Isn't that crazy? We're in November again already. Wow, I have a week. It's such a busy week. Next week. Oh my God. You are got a treat next week. Do I tell you? Maria Celeste is going to be back. Maria Celeste. Oh my God, this lady is my soul sister. I love, love, love her. You've seen her last year on here. She was supposed to be here a few months ago. We had some technical difficulties, so the show could not go on her date. So I'm bringing her on next week, Monday the 15th. This lady is a rock star, literally. She's a lady of rock. She's a lady of rocks and minerals. She's a lady of mediumship. She is a trance medium. She is everything and anything. And I'll tell you what, she's even ordained through the Spiritualist Church. This lady is awesome. She's an inspiration. I simply love her. And you got to stay tuned. If you didn't see her before, you got to see her now. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. This has been DeEtte Renee with School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB. See you next week.